Hello, how's it going? My name is Kira. I am the originator, the OG of the Not Your Average Success Story movement. Man, we're on season 6, and I'm just happy to be able to, introduce myself and let you guys know that we've made it this far. Man, we started a new thing for this upcoming season. Normally, we've traveled to go and film different people, in their homes and different things like that, different states. Bruh, I can't tell you how many miles I done put on my car. So this season we wanted to, because we want to, get the story out to more people. We want to share more stories. We want more people to share their stories. So we extended the invitation for individuals to record themselves from a smartphone, whether they have a camera or whatever the case may be, and send it to us, and then we'll get it edited. So if you're interested, by all means, check this one out. This is our first episode that we did it or had it done. Check it out, reach out, let us know. We can make it happen. So just wanted to get that message out to you guys and let you know that that is an option. And I just wanted to thank you guys for the constant support. It's growing slowly but surely. But it's all about the journey and the process. We're not trying to get there fast. Just being able to connect with each individual and give their story the attention that it needs on a one-on-one basis is amazing, man. And I do feel like the connections and the relationships that have been built throughout this process will serve, the world, for forever. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to our first guest of season 6. Lord have mercy. Season 6. Consuelo Calorie.
Hey, my name is Consuelo, and I'm from Laura, Mississippi. An interesting fact about me would be that I could probably eat macaroni and cheese every day of my life. In about 5 to 10 years, I see myself being a successful Black business owner and a small town therapist. So this is what I've had to overcome. I'd say when I was about 10, maybe 9, I started being molested in my own home. I grew up with 6 siblings. My mom and my dad were both in my household. I was being molested and raped by older cousins, an uncle. Not just one, not just 2. And as a child, you don't know how to deal with that. You don't know if it's bad if you were never taught that it was bad, but it felt bad. I knew in my heart that it wasn't what was supposed to be going on. I guess most people say, children, they know things, they know some things, but I can honestly say at that age, I didn't know a thing about sex. I barely knew a thing about myself. I would try to get my mom's attention the best way I knew how, and I was just trying to be up under her. My mom worked, and my cousins and my uncles, they would all just come freely to our house because my mom had an inviting home, and I guess I was the sacrificial lamb in that home, in that inviting home, with all these different men and male figures coming in and out of our home, staying the night, staying the weekend. I guess I could say I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to tattle. I didn't know whether to scream. kick, punch, shout. I just didn't know. And this went on for about 3 years, up until I turned 13. When I turned 13, it's like I developed this promiscuity that I didn't know where it came from, what it was about, what it was for, but all the attention that I tried to get at home, when I tried to stay around my siblings, or I tried to sleep in the bed with my mom, just because I was so scared, and I didn't know how to tell my mama. So I tried to get her attention the best way I knew how, and she never paid attention to the clues. So like I said, when I turned 13, it was over with. It was like, okay, now I have friends that know what this thing called sex is, and that's what's been happening to me all this time, and they like it. They want to do it. So I already know what it is, so I'm gonna do it. And when I started realizing that that was the way that I could get attention from boys, because I was so skinny. I graduated almost 99 pounds, never reached 100. But I was so skinny, and I never felt attractive because of all those things that happened to me. How could I be attractive if, they were hurting me? If those men could hurt me like that. And I had lost the attention of my dad. I used to be a daddy's girl. I used to be a big daddy's girl. I lost the attention of my dad. So when it came to the streets and I saw that these guys liked me for what I had in between my legs, it was like, that's all I could give them. I couldn't give them a big butt. I couldn't give them a nice body. I didn't feel pretty, so I felt like I couldn't give them a pretty face. So all I could give them was what I knew I had in between my legs that other men had been getting all this time. So going through, I first had sex when I was 13. I got pregnant with my first child at 14. I brought a baby into this world at 15. At 15 years old. I didn't even know anything about life myself. I barely knew where babies came from. But I kept doing what I was doing. I knew once I got pregnant, I knew where babies came from then. But after getting all that attention, after all this time, I didn't know any better. I thought that that's what I wanted, the attention from the guys, the attention from the boys. So I kept sleeping around 13, 14, 15, 16, having sex with whoever wanted to have sex, because that's how I got their attention. If I saw a nice looking guy, I knew that I could get him with what was in between my legs if I gave that to him. That was my childhood thinking, me not knowing my worth and not knowing who I was. So I kept having sex, I kept doing what I was doing, but all the while I was raising my child. And I started to get bullied in school because of who I had been pushed to become, so to speak. Girls called me ho this and ho that. I got pushed in the hallway. I got into fights over guys that I didn't know were in relationships or just for having sex with them if I did know and they wanted it. I fought and I fought. And I held back and I got bullied. And when I can say that's when my depression first started. Being bullied in high school and not having a friend to turn to say, hey, I did this thing last night and I had no business doing it, and now everybody at school is talking about me. I one best friend in school, Takia Wright, and she was a blessing. I could talk to her about anything, and I told her all of these things, but she was just a kid like me. She didn't know any better. She didn't have any advice to give me. She couldn't help me get out of situations, even though we both helped each other out of certain situations time and time again. And that's when I first faced depression, and it's been ongoing through my life. And I can't say that the rapes or the assaults stopped then, because they didn't. Even though I left my mom's house every weekend that I could to go and stay with friends just to get away from it, it seemed to still follow me, even into my adulthood. There's been so many times where I've said no to guys, but it's like they think that it's just part of the sex game. It is not. If a girl says no, she means no. Having to face that in adulthood kind of put me through this turmoil, this windstorm that how could I be grown and still not know any better? How could I be grown and still not scream and still not say no loud enough? How? I fought it myself for all of my assaults in my adulthood because I felt like I was old enough to say no loud. I was old enough to scream. I was old enough to call the police. I was old enough to do these things, but I didn't know that I would freeze. That I would freeze like that. Guys that I trusted, guys that I've been around so many times would take advantage of me. And the fault that I had was I didn't want to hurt anyone. Through all that I've been through, the fault that I had was I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to get anyone in trouble. And I've been like that since childhood. If I tattle, I'm going to get somebody in trouble. Oh, they're not going to like me. And I went through life just wanting to be liked and being hurt at the cost of being liked. Physically, emotionally, mentally hurt. And the depression kept going, the depression kept going, the depression kept going. I've had multiple suicide attempts where I felt that my life wasn't worth it. I felt that I wasn't worth it. And I wanted to end my life. And on these separate occasions, I guess I didn't because people would always come and say, well, we love you. People need you. And I could never understand what they meant by that. But somehow I gathered the strength to get up from that place and to go on and live my life. And over the course of time, I got a therapist. I see a therapist regularly. And I've managed to gather myself to see who I am and what I'm worth. And I think that's what's finally woken me up to my life, to who I am. Just loving me for every inch, every curve, everything. I had to learn how to love me and know what I was worth. If I could give anybody some advice, I would say, look deep inside yourself to see who you are and not who the world wants you to be. on the medical side, I would say if you're experiencing any type of depression, seek therapy. In the Black community, we're taught that we shouldn't talk about certain things. We're taught to not cry and hide our feelings, but as humans, we need that release. And sometimes those friends that you count on aren't going to be enough. Sometimes they're not going to be there. Sometimes they don't understand. And therapy has been a lifesaver for me. And one therapist, no. Two therapists, no. I've been through 3 therapists to find who was right for me. And that's what you have to do. If you go to a therapist and they're not helping you, or you don't feel like you're growing or learning, move on. It's okay to move on and find another therapist. Find what works for you. If that's a Black therapist, a white therapist, an Asian therapist, brown, yellow, purple, whatever type of therapist you see fit that fits you, find them and keep them. That's how I got through my depression and childhood trauma, and I'm still getting through it. Each day is a work in process. Each day I learn something new about myself. Each day I learn a new way to love me. Each day I learn a new way to cope with life after the fact. And that's just what we have to do sometimes. Thank you. I want to thank Hakira for giving me this opportunity, this platform to speak. And I hope that in some way my words, my story, my tribulations, I didn't go through it all for nothing, guys. Somebody has to be healed. Somebody has to see the light. And I just hope that this story reaches them today, tomorrow, and always. Thank you.
Man, Consuelo, I just personally want to thank you for your bravery, for your strength, for your courage, and just for being an amazing individual. A lot of you guys may or may not know, we went to high school together, and it was very interesting being able to hear her story from this perspective. And she states towards the end that she didn't go through what she went through for no reason, and that she hoped that her story and her trials and her tribulations can touch somebody, even if it's one person. And I just want to let you know, Consuelo, like, you got one in me, and I know it's gonna be so many more to come after they view this episode. But I just wanted to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you. Let those babies know that their mom is Superwoman. Let them know that they are so blessed to be able to call you mother, and you're amazing. Like, I'm almost speechless. I'm very just thankful. Honestly, that's the one word that comes to mind. Thankful for this opportunity to be able to shed some light on such an amazing story that I truly believe from deep down is going to touch so many people. So thank you again, and I hope you enjoyed it. Everybody else, I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you don't mind, definitely subscribe, man. We have some powerful stories. If that's not your groove, it's okay. We're just gonna keep going. We'd love to have you on board, but if not, we're just gonna capture another story that'll capture your attention, and eventually we'll have you on board. So thank you all. Peace, love, chicken grease. This is Not Your Average Success Story, Season 6.